Hey, what's going on everyone? Matthew from therighttrader.com here, back today with another daily crypto update. In this video, I'm going to be going over Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Ripple, Neo, Vertcoin, Monero, Omisigo, and LISK. And I'm also going to be doing a technical analysis for today on Coin, kind of keeping you guys updated on what's been going on with that one, as I did yesterday, as well as EOS, which is breaking out today. So I'm going to get to the technical analysis on TradingView in just a second on all of those. First up, let me update you all on what's been going on with, the general market here in the past couple hours. And I think it's pretty safe to say now that the money is really flowing into Bitcoin for the most part. While the altcoins are dropping pretty heavily across the board, like I said, there are some exceptions. EOS is doing pretty good and breaking out today. Golem is actually doing pretty good as well. And lower in the ranking, Coin, Rise, and Viacoin are doing well. But I mean, it's otherwise, other than those, it's actually looking pretty red here, with a lot of them dropping pretty significantly, Now, like I said, this is sort of understandable considering the fact that people, it seems like they don't want to miss out on the spike right now that Bitcoin is having and the breakout that it's having. So money is exiting the altcoins and just flowing into Bitcoin. I saw that last night as, Bitcoin started moving closer and closer to 6,500. Stuff like Litecoin and Ethereum started dropping proportionally. So that's what's been going on right now. I'll update you all on the technical analysis on all of these altcoins. But it's an interesting thing to think about, right? Right now, what we have to be thinking is this a buying opportunity for the altcoins, or is it a bit too early to make a purchase here and Bitcoin will still get more attention? I think that now that Bitcoin went above 6,500, which I actually predicted in my past daily crypto update, you can watch that one if you don't believe me, but I actually very accurately predicted Bitcoin's move over 6,500 in the previous video, and now I think it's pretty likely that we see 7,000 in the next coming days. So we'll see how it deals with 7,000. Maybe it'll get a big pullback there, or maybe it'll even have enough strength to go above and hold above 7,000. We'll have to see, but I think a test is possible in the near future. So like I said, I think it's pretty clear enough what's going on with the market here. By the way, quick little shout out to Coinbase. If you haven't purchased cryptocurrencies yet, go check them out. You can get $10 free worth of Bitcoin when you sign up. They're the ones I use to purchase cryptocurrencies, and they're not a sponsor. And also, I would really appreciate it if you guys could all leave a like on this video. I've been working really hard on these daily crypto updates, and it's really motivating to see some positive feedback with the thumbs up and the likes, so I would really appreciate that. But with that being said, let's get first into the Coin analysis, and then I'll go over EOS, and then we'll start our usual schedule. So Coin, I had indeed predicted this as well in my previous daily crypto update. I said that we would most likely see a move above $1, or at least a test of $1, and that's what we saw, and it actually had enough strength to go pretty significantly above that, right, going all the way up to $1.37, and if I'm not mistaken, that's actually a new all-time high for Coin. Yeah, so it's breaking out to new highs. This is a typical blue sky breakout, which means that there is no previous resistance level, so the sky is the limit, right? And we'll only see exhaustion where the buyers aren't able to hold the price level, which for now, at least in the short term, is $1.37. I think that at this point, Vertcoin got a massive increase as well and kept going for a while. I feel like this would be a pretty reasonable area for Coin to take a bit of a breather. Hopefully it can hold above $1 and sort of get some consolidation before, of course, in the future, probably moving even higher. But it looks like it does want to take a break. I mean, you can see the upper wick here with a long upper wick. This means that buyers really weren't able to hold these levels up here, which is fine. I'm not bearish at all on Coin. I'm still bullish on it. But I think in the short term, it would be a good thing and probable to see a bit of a pullback and consolidation right now for Coin. But really impressed with the strength it had. So it's, of course, a cryptocurrency that I like. Let's move over now to EOS. This is one that I didn't really talk about ever. I've not really made any price predictions on this one. And I might be doing that today, so keep an eye out for that. So this one has been breaking out, actually. And we can see that it broke above this sort of resistance levels that it had before of around 84 cents, right? Really nicely broke above that. Now, it is struggling to, as you can see, really get above $1 and hold above that right now. So it's at 99 cents more or less, and that's something that I will want to see it break above $1 and really hold above that. If it doesn't do that, it's pretty likely that we might fall back down near 84 cents and get some consolidation. But with the strength that it's having, it would be nice to see it really break above $1 and hold above it. It made a high today of $1.02, but really hold above that $1 range and get a closing candlestick above that. From there, you know, can it go higher? Of course, usually it does after breaking and holding above $1, especially when it's been in a, you know, range bound for a couple months like this. So how high will it go after that? You know, there's no real telling. It could go up to $2 pretty quickly, maybe a bit lower than that, you know, $1.50. It really depends, but it's going to be a very good sign for the future of EOS, at least on a price action level, if it's able to break and hold above $1. So that's what I'm going to be looking at for, you know, the next couple days. I'll probably keep you guys updated if anything big happens. Let's move over now to our normal schedule. So moving over to Bitcoin, and nice breakout above the previous day's high, holding a nice green candlestick right now. So the high that it made is actually, let's see, 6,652. So really broke nicely above 6,500. Had no real problem with that, which is good to see. And 6,500 will now be the new support level to pay attention to, right? Now, one thing that I do want to mention is this candlestick is fully above the upper Bollinger Band line, right? And especially for, you know, bigger, you know, for example, bigger stocks or bigger cryptocurrencies, when this happens, right, especially when they're like I said, larger, bigger market cap cryptocurrencies, it's pretty unlikely that they're able to hold a long time above the upper Bollinger Band, right? Like when there's a candlestick that's fully above it. If you look back just a couple weeks, right, over here we had a candlestick above the upper Bollinger Band, and it did manage to get another one in, but then got a bit of a pullback. Over here, same thing, you know, it broke fully above the upper Bollinger Band and then fell back down right away. So it's a hard level to hold. You can see over here more or less the same thing. And it's not a bad thing, you know, it's completely normal. Usually it just needs a bit of a pullback and consolidation before it can make a move higher, because it's sort of limited by these Bollinger Bands. But it depends, you know, sometimes like over here we can see a couple extra days going above the upper Bollinger Band. So we might see that, you know, towards 7,000, or we'll get a bit of a pullback and make our way probably towards 7,000. Right now the money just seems to be flowing into Bitcoin, and I don't see it really stopping for the time being. So it seems like it does want to go higher. Indicators still looking great, you know, RSI above 70, moving upwards. Same thing, MACD moving upwards, histogram as well. So it's looking good. Right now it's just going to be a question of, will it see a bit of a pullback, you know, before moving higher. But right now Bitcoin is looking really good. We're making higher highs, lower lows, and even if we do get a pullback, we'll most likely just make a lower low and move higher from there. So no real concerns for Bitcoin right now. It is getting all the attention and all the money flow, which is important to notice. Let's go over to Ethereum now. Ethereum did in fact get a drop here, and you know, that's something that I said, that it does have a lot of resistance in these levels, so it is pretty likely that it gets a bit of a pullback before really making a move higher. And right now it's still holding its lows that it made a couple days ago. So yeah, let me just zoom in really quickly on the chart so you can see better what's going on with the candlesticks. And as you can see, it is holding the lows over here of around, you know, $2.95, $295 is the range that it seems to be holding. So if it can stay above that, that'll be a pretty nice sign. Now, obviously, just typical pullback here, going back into sort of its range-bound area. Nothing really special on the indicators. They're just pulling downwards after this drop here today. And this middle band is really being a pretty strong resistance level for Ethereum, which is something that, you know, I expected. But we're just going to have to wait and see, you know, how much consolidation is it going to get? Is it going to fall below 295 and move closer to the upper, you know, this uptrend line over here, and maybe get a bounce off that? We'll have to see, right? It's a bit early to tell, but obviously money is flowing out of the altcoins, like I said, so it wouldn't be surprising to see this one drop more. Litecoin also in a similar situation as Ethereum, so even a bit worse, because this one actually yesterday broke below its uptrend line, so we're now, you know, not uptrending really anymore, and we might enter, you know, some kind of longer term or medium term consolidation phase. RSI is looking pretty ugly. Same thing on the MACD here, not looking great on the indicators. And as far as the candlesticks go, let's see, the low over here was $54 more or less. So we're all holding above this sort of support level over here of around $54. I think we'll really want to see it hold above that, because if it breaks lower, you know, we're going to move pretty quickly down to 52 and maybe even go back into the upper $40 levels, you know, in the near future. So that'll obviously not be great. And same thing over here. We'll just have to wait and see, right? Will it be able to hold over here and maybe get some kind of bounce in the next couple of days? Of course, that's possible, but right now, the altcoins are probably going to take a hit. You know, that's just the fact of the matter. Let's move over now to Ripple. And let's see, this one has been consolidating for the past couple of days, so it'll be interesting to see if it, yeah, so not looking good for Ripple. You know, I've been pretty bearish on Ripple just based on the chart and stuff here in the past couple of days. It's not been looking good, a lot of consolidation, and we're actually now starting to see a bit of a crash here in Ripple, where we're now moving lower into the range levels of support, which is, you know, around this 19-cent area, and tested basically again today the uptrend line, but it's moving more and more, you know, lower, and really going to start testing this uptrend line pretty drastically. It seems like a failed MACD recovery over here, where it's now moving back down. Same thing on the histogram. RSI not looking good as well, probably going to go back into this 37 area. And you know what to expect here in the next couple of days? Well, everything is moving lower, right? The Bollinger Bands aren't looking good as well. So we'll have to see if it can kind of hold on this uptrend line. If it doesn't, though, we're probably going to see this crack, and we're going to move much lower, maybe down to the 16-cent range, which is kind of something that I've been a bit expecting if you've watched my daily crypto updates now for a while. So we'll have to see if that happens, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it move down to, you know, these lower support levels around 16 cents, something like that. So unfortunately, pretty bearish here on Ripple. Moving over to NEO. NEO actually did have 2 good days now, and yeah, not surprised to see a crash here. It's not really NEO's fault. It's just, you know, like I said, the focus on Bitcoin, people don't want to miss out on that. So money is exiting these altcoins. And NEO was looking pretty good. You know, it broke out above its downtrend line, which is something that I really wanted to see. Now, unfortunately, it's dipping back below into the symmetrical triangle formation. So, you know, it's still okay for now. It has a lot of support, and it'll probably test this uptrend line over here. We'll just have to see now that it's back in this pattern. Where is it going to really make a clear decision now? After this you know, attempted breakout, of course, it would be kind of sad to see it crash back down to, you know, lower levels like 16 cents. But it's possible if it breaks this downtrend line, you know. A bit early to tell, though, now that it's back in the symmetrical triangle pattern. We'll just have to wait and see. One thing that I should notice here is the RSI broke pretty drastically now below some support levels that it had. So we'll see how if this is going to be an indication of what might happen. And if you look here, the MACD is not looking great as well, right? It looks like it might start to pull down a bit. So we'll just have to wait and see. Too early to tell, really, for NEO what's going to happen. But, you know, these altcoins are probably going to take a hit. Like I said, there's just no way around it right now, as people, they don't want to miss out on the Bitcoin, you know, bounce. And is that a reasonable thing? It depends, right? It really depends on how you look at it, because I'm more of the idea that it's better to be patient. You know, I think that more experienced traders are kind of let things happen in their own time, and if there's a drop, you know, kind of just take that hit for a while, and then it'll probably recover. But of course, you know, people follow the hype. It's completely expected. Now, Vertcoin finally getting a bit of a drop here. As you know, I'm very bullish on Vertcoin, but I did mention that we were most likely going to see a bit of a pullback. You know, it's been going up so much, so no real surprise here. Now, this is probably the first sign of a true maybe pullback that will last a bit longer than just, you know, a daily pullback, because the MACD is starting to fold back down now, becoming flatter. Histogram moving lower, you know, broke out of the histogram uptrend over here, and the RSI now dipping back below the 70 line. Okay, so this is actually going to be a bearish sign, and if we draw our uptrend on the RSI, we also broke below that. So probably going to get a more severe pullback here. Now it's kind of holding more or less this $4.85 level, but as you can see, it's really pushing it, right? It's basically dipping inside of it and even kind of under it. So, you know, it put in a low today of $4. That's good. I definitely want to see it hold that $4 level. And from here, what will happen? You know, we really broke out of our nice little uptrend thing. Might as well draw that as well. But if we draw, you know, a pretty strict... so I guess it's still holding a bit, but, you know, the meat of the move now is over. As you can see, we're folding back over here on the top of this. And I think we're now going to bounce between probably, I think it'll hold this $4 level, but we might bounce between, you know, now anywhere between this $4 level and sort of the maybe mid $5 level for a while now, and really get some consolidation going. Could last quite a while before, you know, there's some more bullish momentum and news that can really push Vertcoin to hopefully its all-time highs and make, you know, new all-time highs. But for now, a bit of a pullback is probably in play here, especially with the weakness in the altcoin market for Vertcoin. Let's move over to Monero now. Let's see, Monero still range bound. Monero keeping true to its range bound you know, nature here in the past couple weeks. And what does this mean? You know, really nothing. It's still keeping its pattern very it's sticking true to its pattern. You know, it held the low over here of around $80, and nothing really to say here. It's still very range bound unless we make a clear break to the downside or the upside. I don't really have anything to say on this, right? We're just going to really have to wait and see where it makes a decision, because right now it's just staying completely range bound, which honestly, since the altcoins are dropping, this is actually kind of good, actually, for considering what's been going on with a lot of those altcoins. Now, let's see, moving over to Omisego. This one has not been acting well, and wouldn't be surprised, yeah, to see even more of a drop today. So I think this is down about 7% and not looking good at all. Once again, I completely predicted this one to a T. You can watch my previous daily crypto updates if you don't believe me, but I said that we were most likely going to see a crack and a drop, you know, a true collapse now of this support level over here around $6.40, and that's exactly what happened today, where we now dropped below that. Did put in a low of $5.90. We'll see if it can hold that for a bit longer, but now I think we're going to move pretty quickly down to, you know, $5. See if we can get a bounce off there, maybe even into the upper $4 levels. So it's not looking good at all. Completely fell off on the RSI. Most likely going to test this 30 line, even probably dip below that and become oversold. So we'll have to see, but Omisego not looking good. I don't like anything on the chart right now, and I think it's going to drop much more. Like I said, probably to $5 or even the upper $4 levels. Final cryptocurrency of our daily crypto update is going to be LISK. And unfortunately here for LISK, you know, it's not really its fault, but it did have some weakness, and I think the altcoin drop pushed it over the edge now, and it did in fact break out of the uptrend line on the symmetrical triangle pattern that I drew. So it's still holding its kind of last ditch support levels over here around $4.30, but similarly to Omisego, wouldn't be surprising now to see a bit more of a severe drop, you know, maybe into the $3.70 area. Seems like it could get a bounce there, or, you know, it could probably even drop lower. There's not the most clear cutout support levels over here for LISK, so it could definitely take a bit of a hit here going into back down into the $3 range probably in the future here. So unfortunately, you know, altcoin's not looking good, Bitcoin getting all of the attention and all of the money. Simple as that. I appreciate you watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. I've really been appreciating all your feedback, and, you know, the channel is going really well. I've been very accurate with my predictions, and you all have been seeing that, so it's really boosting my credibility, and I'm going to keep making this channel the best possible. So thank you all for the support. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day, everyone.